Good evening. I'm Joanne Ryan, President of the Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, and it's, as always, a pleasure to be with you. I have a wonderful privilege of being, of course, the President and CEO of the Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, but I'm a native of this area, and I love it. And I also had the opportunity to work and live in other areas around Connecticut, and also to do a special project at the corporate office for my previous company in my previous life in Troy, Michigan. But always, I appreciated the beauty, the resources, the quality of life in the Northwest corner. And I think that gave me a heads up and a privilege that not everyone has if you've always lived in this area, because I sometimes say and hear that we're our own worst enemy here in the Northwest corner, in that we don't appreciate what we have here. So I've been able to look at it with new eyes and look at what we do have here. So I thought it would be a topic of great interest to all of you. I love it here, and you are all wonderful, and we are a very special group of people who truly care about one another. But I wanted to share with you the perspective of some individuals who are making quite a difference here. First, we have Rose Ponte, who is the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Torrington, and is working tirelessly to share the gem of the Northwest corner, and particularly Torrington, with people not only in the region, but around the state, around New England, and actually New York. And also with us, again, as president of the chamber, I get to meet these great people who move into this area because they see the resources here and the beauty here, is Bob Bombardieri. Bob is the builder and developer of the Reserve at Mount Pleasant. And he came in from New York City and is just one of many who are seeing this region as a jewel. So welcome, both of you. And thank you so much for being here. I think our audience is going to love what we're going to discuss, because, of course, the goal is to find that wonderful balance.
That's right.
Make sure we appreciate what we have without growing to an area where we can't expand and it's too busy and too crazy. So Rose, let's start with you. We love having you as the Economic Development Coordinator.
Thank you. I love my job. Every day it's fun to go to work. I never know what is going to come by my desk, so it's wonderful. And it's very easy for me to promote Torrington because it has so many wonderful natural assets, and plus all the other things we have, our skilled workforce and our location, and it's I believe very easy to promote Torrington. It's a gem.
It really is a gem, and you know the location, and Bob, you're going to say this, location, location. Yes. I mean, we're 2 hours from New York, 2 hours from Boston, 40 minutes from Bradley. Very easy to get to the highways, and yet we don't have the congestion that some have the opportunity to travel on every day. Opportunity or challenge, I should say. So, Bob, welcome. It's so nice to have you. I guess you walked into my office one day and talking about this beautiful piece of property that you purchased in Torrington.
I saw it for the first time 3 years ago in January.
Okay.
And it was gorgeous. I said, this is something special. So I did due diligence, and I spoke to a surveyor who had done work for the owners, and just doing my homework, I asked him, what do you think about it? He said, I've been doing this work for 30-something years, and he said, I've never seen property as beautiful as the Mount Pleasant farm. That was an unsolicited remark, and that sold it. I told the broker, I said, we have a deal.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, Bob, you're New York. You're from New York.
Well, I was born.
We allow New Yorkers to come in, you know.
I know. I was the enemy, the New York developer. That was not good. So I stayed under the radar and had a great.
But Bob, so give us a little background in what made you become a developer and a builder.
Well, I was born in Manhattan, grew up basically in Long Island, went to Marist College. That got me in Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie.
There are a lot of very important people.
The mayor and the assistant from Marist, but I started out my career as a mathematics teacher, high school and college, did that for a few years, and realized I loved building. So I started doing residential construction, did some subdivisions, probably built 150 homes or so, past 20, 25 years. Then 3 years ago, I said it's time to find new territory, and a friend of mine said, check out this piece of property in Torrington.
What was it that made your eyes or brighten up or your ears perk up when they said Torrington? Did you have any previous knowledge of Torrington?
Not really. I just knew some people here, and I started becoming more familiar with the property.
And you know, we're nice people too, Bob.
Wonderful.
Although we don't always accept people who move in.
No.
We always want to know who your grandparents are. So you know, we're trying to be better at that and be more welcoming.
I'm Sicilian, by the way.
So that's good,
you got
too.
it made.
That's with me. That's my family.
So you drove up and saw this beautiful piece of property.
It is gorgeous. Off the charts, beautiful. And I started the subdivision approval. Had a great engineer, Ken Ricca. Great attorney, local, Joel Perlotta.
Good, so you're supporting local business. We love that.
I did one thing, as my broker said, Marilyn from Marilyn's Realty, zip it. I kept my mouth shut. I let the engineers do the work, the lawyers do the work, the realtor, and I stayed in the background. And the city really loved the project. They supported it, and it was approved within 12 or 13 months. Unheard of time. In New York, that would have been a 3-year project with a lot of issues.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I know that Ryan's administration really supports. We want to be business ready. So if you have a project, and we try very much to do a lot of the legwork ahead of time. Marty Connor, our city planner, and Kim Barberi will sit down with prospective people and tell them exactly this is what you need to do to make the process go a little quicker. And, you know, or people will come to my office and I'll do the same thing so they know ahead of time. That seems to really take away a lot of that lag that you have months and months and you wait till the next P&Z hearing. And so we want to be known as a business-ready city.
And you know, we're constantly doing things with regard to economic development because this world is quite small, and as we all know, it's global, and it's very highly competitive. And I've been at some meetings, actually twice this week. I was at meetings at CERC and Connecticut Economic Resource Center, and the competition from outside the region to draw people in Connecticut and businesses in Connecticut out of the area is really keen. So I applaud what the city is doing. And Bob, you're an example of the fact that it didn't take 3 years to go through the process and research and look at what you plan on doing in this beautiful piece of property while still maintaining the beauty of the property.
The property is off the charts.
Look at this. You know what? What did you tell me earlier? Someone commented that what did it remind them of?
Oh, when the approvals, the Wetlands Committee, they walked the property that November, and as the group went through the old logging trail to the view, some of the women started singing "The Hills Are Alive" with the sound of music.
It does.
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
Where is Julie Andrews?
I know. I don't know if you can see this, but it is absolutely gorgeous, and I think you don't see this.
You don't.
Everywhere.
It's been the best secret in Torrington for years because when I purchased the property, it never hit the MLS. It was a private sale, so it went from the owners to me, and no one knew it was there. I compare it to, let's say a car, using that as a metaphor. A lot of properties around here are nice, they're Chevrolets. These lots are like Mercedes S-classes. I have one lot that's like a Ferrari. It's just off the charts.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's like a Timex watch versus a Rolex. There are no comparisons. It's that kind of property. So
that's what draws you.
It's a gem. It's a gem.
And that's what drew you here.
Yes. I said something very special should happen on this property.
Now talk about the farmhouse that you built, because I think there's some historic value here.
Well, the farmhouse was the original farmhouse. The rear section was built in the 1770s, and Dr. Hodges from Hodges Hill Road moved in the area, and then he had a general store up there. Then the front section was built in the mid-1800s. When the city approved the project, they said the large barn had to be kept and restored, which I did. The farmhouse was in terrible shape. It could have been like a tear down, but I found something special about it, and I did a restoration, renovation. It came out absolutely beautiful.